Hey everybody. So I do a quick video this morning. I talked to Alan. I felt so bad. Some of y'all last night in his show, I went out there and told him, hey, 6 o'clock in the morning, we gotta go. And 6 o'clock in the morning, we gotta. And it's not today. It was tomorrow. And so he was up. Right on cue. He did great. I tried to text him this morning like at 5 o'clock. Nashville. I tried texting him at like 5 o'clock and he never answers his text or his phone or nothing. He'll never have it. But it was too funny. And he told me his daughter called him last night during the show. So I just got through watching that. And that was really nice. That was really nice. Hey, Nicole Diesel from Australia. How's it going down under? I hadn't talked to Elle in a while. Where's Ella? I'm glad you're there, Nicole, because there's the link to the show. Come on and give us an Australian update if you want. Because we hadn't got one from Ella, and it was last week, I guess. Maybe the week before. The struggles. Yeah, struggles. I have plenty. No joke. It was really nice yesterday. Went and registered Kathy's car. I had to get a new registration sticker. And I get to the registration office, and there's probably 10 people in line, and I knew this going in. I knew it was. You always know that going in, so you practice your patience. You practice. Stand there and pray that you don't choke somebody while you're in line. But I'm not there very long. It's okay, but I'm heading more rural in February. The vaccine propaganda. Right. Wow. I'm sorry. I hate that. Wow. So you are in Eastern, right? You're in Eastern Australia, where they're having all the lockdowns and the mandates, and right, is it not Western Australia that they've closed their border? They've closed their borders and said no. We're not dealing with you people. Have I got that right? You're in Victoria, so yeah, you're in the really liberal part of the country, right? Well, run, call Ella, get a hold of Ella. She'll take care of you. Run. We'll help take care of you. We'll get you there. You got to get out of that slum. Bunch of psychopaths. But I was saying they're in line, and after I'm there a couple of minutes, two couples, elderly, and they come in, and they're standing there talking, and they go, "Oh, right, we gotta have our insurance cards." So one of the husbands, he turns, the wife stays, and the other wife says, "Do you know where the insurance card is?" And he goes, I'll go. He didn't even get the word out, I'll go. So she goes. They come back. Long story short, as the line moves, the old guy is just bitching. He's, oh my God, why is these lines like this? They got people sitting over there not doing nothing. Yeah, I don't blame Western Australia. So he's just a bitching, right? I remember when you didn't. I remember when you did, and all this. So after a few minutes, the old gal she just says, "Hey, it's your own fault. You did it to yourself." What? And she says, "Yep, you did it to yourself. You let this happen." And I was like, "Wow, this old gal, she's awake. She's awake." They have light signs on the side of the road as you drive along, flashing. Right. Isn't that sad? That subliminal messaging. Oh my God. The flicker rates using them. So so I say to the lady, I say, I agree with you. I said, I'm upset with my grandparents and my parents because this happened on their watch. And hey, Fractal. And we, we're having to clean it up. We're having to deal with it. I don't think it can be cleaned up. I really don't. I think it either has to be scrapped and started new, or we separate and start our own and do things our way, God's way, biblically, because this ain't gonna work. We've tried to compromise with these people long enough, and it's gotten us nowhere. We've lost more than we ever even hoped to gain from compromising. So I'm talking to this lady, and she's like, yeah, right. I said, year after year, he came down here, and year after year, it got worse, and he never said anything. He just stood there in the line and bitched. I said, that's what most people do. You just go, what am I going to do? Well, standing there complaining is not it. I added you from Ella. I know, I understand. I know, get it. I don't get it. Tell me again. I added you from Ella. Oh, my channel. You've seen Ella. Oh, well, thank you. I'm not much. I just get on here and babble. But, so it was really, really enlightening to talk to this lady. Well, she had a friend there with her, and her and I start talking, and we start talking about health. And she says she has a daughter that I believe she said was a nurse, and she eats organic. She's trying to get her to eat healthier. And I was like, your daughter's right. I said, I didn't believe it for most of my life. I said, the last several years, I've learned that our food supply is terrible. The GMOs, the polymers, all that. I said, and now I apologize to all the granola eating hippies I meet now, because, dude, you're right. Shouldn't eat their poison. And I gave her, I wrote down for her to look up the Royal Rife frequencies so she can help herself sleep and with pain and such going on. But it was really fun, good talk with the lady. And and when you get out in public like that, and I say it all the time, a lot of this information is really good, but I can only go by what I observe, in my sphere of influence, where I go, who I run into each day. And it's kind of weird. And Alan points it out. My neighborhood here, we have several people that'll get in their golf cart. Like Barbara O'Neill, she's fantastic. All health issues. I will do that. Thank you, Nicole. And they drive around, and in their golf carts. And Alan and I both will see them. Wave, how you doing? No, one of them waves. They don't wave at you. Just keep driving. Same thing if you're in the car. Same thing. But then I'm out and I meet ladies like that. So it's hit and miss. I believe I told you about the Madika brothers. I went up there to see about brakes for my 69 pickup. The ladies making all the guys mechanics. Put your mask up. If you're behind the desk, put your mask up. And I told them all, dude, don't do that on account of me. I'm the only one here. Y'all are all good. I'm immune. And she's like, that's another point. It's policy. I said, what's a dumb policy? And she goes, well, we have to do it. And I said, if they told you to wear bunny ears and hop on one foot, would you do that too? And she's like, well, that's different. How? You're wearing a freaking mask. It's a clown outfit. And she's like, well, I'm not going to argue with that. So there's no argument. These are just facts. You're doing that. I'm not. You're making them do that. They don't want to. So kind of a different thing, lady. We're not arguing. But yeah, I called yesterday and asked the girl for my procedure I'm having Wednesday, my epidural steroid injection. Asked her what all they were going to use and if they had an insert, so I could see the ingredients in all my stuff before they put it in me. And she has that. Well, honey, we only use. And remember, guys, I've done these things. I've done ESIs and discograms and spun studies and stuff. I've done all that. So I know what we use. And she said, it was funny because I was just going to go ahead and tell her, I know, I know Depomedrol. I know 0.5% plain. I know, I know that. Is there anything else? Well, sometimes he uses 1% and 2%. And I was like, really? And I was like, wow. She was banned in Australia. We've been talking, teaching. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Think about that, guys. Think about that. You're getting taken off social media for talking about natural food and eating healthy. It's crazy. It's crazy. You knew her growing up, huh? She was one of the sisters' good friend. She's the real deal. Cool. But isn't that crazy? In this day and time when they're like, oh, everybody, you got to be inclusive. Oh, you've got to, you've got to accept everybody. You got to accept a man as a woman. You got to, you got to do all this. You have to. And then somebody like this lady says, okay, let's eat healthy. Here's the plan. And they, oh, no, lady. We ain't going to let you spew that crap. Telling people how to eat healthier and live healthier. What are you doing? Right. I heard from a trusted birdie, so-called med beds. Yeah, Fractal, I've seen those. It's a whole bed made with speakers in it. And yeah, and they just put the frequencies out and it heals. It heals. And they don't want it out, but it's getting out. There's a TED talk about it. And that guy does, he's working in the therapy and he's got case studies going and he's proven that he's healing people and he's relieving pain way better than pharmaceuticals can. And he's improving quality of life for people that modern medicine's not achieving. And so that's really, really promising. My pain management guy that I'm seeing tomorrow, he never heard of frequency. He is in frequency. So we had a long talk at my visit about frequency and he wrote everything down. He wanted to look into it. And I'm like, that's really sad when a guy like me who's just surfing the internet, just clicking on stuff, finds out about this, but he went to medical school and never a word about it. That's so sad. That kind of stuff, that's a struggle. We struggle not against flesh, but against principalities. And that's what they are. Those institutions that are blocking and shadow banning and all that, they're principalities. They're principalities, and they're in full swing against truth. Maury Smith, I see no reason to not believe that every single molecule on Earth, I'm talking to even the ones we haven't discovered yet, because I'm sure they're there, and like the ether, everything has a frequency. Everything has an electrical charge. And therefore, if you think on any scale, numbers or whatever, frequencies the same way, you have I believe in God's realm here that basically you have infinity of frequencies and everything has theirs. And there's frequency that enhances and helps rebuild and nourish certain elements, and there's frequency that will kill, that will destroy each one of those elements. And I believe that's what Royal Rife had gotten onto with his cancer research. and many others understood, frequency. And I don't see any reason that if we stay diligent and the truth keeps being spread, that these true healing processes are going to come back to the forefront. I don't think you can keep it. They can keep it down any longer. There's just too many of us that know. I saw a wristband-sized red light device that cleans someone's blood infection. Wow. Well, I hadn't seen that yet, Fractal, but that's crazy. Well, it's I think one of the biggest travesties ever was letting them take us away from plant-based, from nature-based medicine. When they convinced everyone, well, I don't even think they convinced so many people, is that they just shoved it down their throats. They came from the white coat position of authority and said, look, we've studied this, you haven't. Y'all know the deal. And so our grandparents, great-grandparents, and our parents went, okay, what?
Are those dogs still outside?
Those dogs are all in here, and I'm doing a live stream.
Say what?
I'm doing a live stream. Do you need me to come do your hair? She needs me to go do her hair. Okay. She's so funny sometimes when she has her hair in a ponytail. Most of the day, she wakes up in the morning, washes her hair and everything. She's still got a bump right there from that ponytail. I have to get a straightener. Yeah. I had 2 daughters, man. I can do hair like nobody's business. Nobody's business. Our governor, health minister doesn't want you to know about it. Nobody wants us to know about it, especially the pharmaceutical companies. And I don't know if y'all have ever looked at it. It's called a Spooky 2 frequency, I think, modulator. And you can look it up on the internet, and they sell them. It's the Royal Rife machine that they've reconstructed, and you can buy them. And I talked to the pain management guy about them, and he should buy one. And I'm thinking about buying one. Right. When I first saw a program about spagyrics and making tinctures and ointments and salves and concentrate tinctures for everything that you can make out of plants. I got into extracting last year, 2 years ago before we moved. Dude, I was going out and I was doing henbit extract. It's a natural plant out here in West Texas. I was doing dandelions, doing roses, rose petals. I was doing extracts on all that stuff. Cannabis. I was doing it all. And me and a buddy, we got a real good recipe going for gummies. He still makes them. I taught him how to extract. And yeah, I totally believe that. And when, like I said, we're out here for probably only 3 or 4 years, and then we'll go back to West Texas. And when we get back out there, I'm going to set up my whole shebang again. I'm going to indoor grow, and I'm going to get my extractor set up, and I'm going to be running that extractor 24/7. Because you can literally take like dandelions and put in that extractor, get that base elements out of that plant, and get you a concentrated tincture, and you can take that stuff in just a couple of drops every day. Helps with lots of stuff, inflammation. I believe there's a list out there. I'm no doctor. I'm not putting out medical information here at all. This is just eating plants and weeds like a goat, Yeah, Elle was telling us about the mice plague. That's nasty, man. Wow. Yeah. What do you do? That's a lot of glue traps or a lot of cyanide. Which one do you use? Which one do you use? It's crazy, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, Fractal. Yeah, dude, I'm telling any of y'all, you can buy them on Amazon. It's called a Solvent Extractor. You can buy a Solvent Extractor and do it yourself. It's not hard. It's a cool little setup. You got to have a hot plate, something to boil, and it comes with the what do you call them? Well, I can't think of the word. The glass vessels, and it comes with the extractor. Comes with most of the stuff you need. You have to rig up a few little things you have to buy yourself a stand to hold it, because it's a long tube with glass siphons and stuff on it, and it's easy to do. All I ever did was take dandelions and just pull them straight up, shake the dirt off of it, and take them and chop them up, and take a paper towel and roll like a joint, about that big around, about that long was my extractor, and you just shove it down in there, and you put it together, and you have a ice bath for a condenser, and I used acetone, and you just sit there and boil it out till it runs clear, and then you distill off your acetone, and you have a pure natural tincture. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was cool. Anybody can do it. You really can. I just read about it, looked it up, researched what a Solvent extractor actually was, bought one. You heading out there? Hang on a sec, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye to the deer. All right, guys. Send Mama off to work. Another day in the salt mines. Yeah. Let's see, if you need a cough, steam, or dry bake an onion. Necks of onions. Right? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And what gets me is I still remember my grandparents, or my grandmother, good enough, my two grandmothers, that I knew the best, that lived the longest, talked about that kind of stuff, natural remedies and stuff, mustard greens, boil mustard greens and pack, on a chest for a chest cold, just all kinds of stuff, right? Right. And then somebody convinced them, just because that works, that doesn't mean it works. You know what I'm saying? That's what kills me, is who convinced that guy that was using those natural remedies that, hey, I know it works. I know you're getting results, but we're going to take your license away from you. We're not going to let you practice unless you use our stuff, And that guy, every one of them almost, I guess. There were a few rogue ones, but they took care of them. They just went, okay, all right. You're going to give me a book that tells me what you have that'll fix this. Or if I used to use dandelion, you're going to tell me to use, acetaminophen, something like that. Ethanol Rinse. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things. Do for heat stroke is pour ethyl alcohol and cold water on you. That alcohol really opens the pores and helps cool you down. Right. But we have struggles. We all have struggles, but wow. I'm just so glad that I'm awake. I'm just so glad I'm not still arguing with people about us going to Mars and when we're going to get there. That stuff is so great. You're going to Mars. The heck we are. Whatever. Y'all enjoy your little freaking cartoons. But it's funny to see these people who will damn near come to blows over the fact that they don't even know if the earth is really round or flat. They have no idea, but they'll sure fight you to the end that it is round. They've seen pictures. We all know their stories. I've seen pictures. Why would NASA lie? Well, for $6-8 million a day, people do a lot of stuff. And yeah, sugar's the killer. That was one of the things I told that lady yesterday. You got to cut out sugar and artificial sweeteners. I told her I'd quit sugar and went to honey. I used to put like 3 big old tablespoons, not teaspoons, tablespoons of sugar in my coffees. I did. I was terrible. Years I would do it. And I started noticing about a year or two ago that gum, a little bag of sugar, not the big ones. I'd go through one of those about every 3 months, and it was basically just me and my coffee. That was it. And wow, bam, it hit me. Quit doing that. Why are you doing that? So I tried to go black, and couldn't get into it too long with sweetener. And I started using honey, and it really, 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 it works for me now. Right. Are you suggesting, Fractal, are you suggesting we all go to Europe? We won't be able to get on a plane or a boat because we don't have the juice. You forget that. They make the rules. Remember? They make the rules. Yeah, anybody who's awake these days, if you ever had any plans of going to Europe, they're over now. They are over now. Unless you take a slow boat to China or around the tip, you ain't getting there. Not happening. Not happening. But wow, so many people these days are still under some kind of, I don't know, what is it? Is it the program that's so bad that they still think they can vote people into office that'll do the right thing? Because so many people have proven us wrong. I mean, you just go community by community, state after state, country after country, politician after politician. I mean, in that group, could you find just like what was it? There's a Sodom and Gomorrah where just, I'll go find you 10 men. Okay, I won't destroy you. You can find 10 men. Well, what if you can just find one? You just find one honest, freaking ethical, God-fearing man. And they don't make it. They don't make it past local. They don't make it past local. If they're that good a person, they do that good a job, they get stymied. And if they do move up, they will usually flip. They'll usually flip. They'll go with the money. Have I seen the duping delight? I have not. If you have a link to any of these, put it here in the comment and I'll play it. We'll look at it. Anybody, if y'all got something y'all are like, hey, have you seen this, man? Put it over here in the chat and I'll kick it up. We'll look at it. Yeah, I mean, I was so surprised when I heard that Russia had banned microwaves long ago. Especially ones from America, you can have a microwave, but I think it can only be a certain wattage. That it's not a whole lot more than a hot plate type of deal. It's not like what we have. And they just banned it. They just said, forget it, man. They weren't even going to let them in from the beginning, from the jump. They were not going to let them in, from what I understand, and still don't have them. I think it's pretty rare. If you've seen those videos where those Russian teens, they have pretty old microwaves, and they're taking the what's it called? I can't remember, the generator out of it, and they're making. It was pretty cool. They're making weapons, man. They took and put it on a stick, and they set a cell phone down, and they pointed at it and turned that microwave on. Boom, man! That cell phone blew up. That was crazy. They were doing all kinds of stuff with that. They were lighting up light bulbs and stuff, and that was a good demonstration of like the free energy setup. Is that you have the free energy, just it's in the air, and the right frequency and the right bulbs, they light up. It's great. Tesla had done it, and for some reason, people didn't like him doing that. They did not appreciate those people who tried to introduce free energy for us over the years, did they? They did not care for those people one bit. Right. Right. There's weird things like that, aren't there? It's like, wow, they've had that for years over there. I remember one little thing like that. My parents, through my dad's company, every year, if he sells enough air conditioners, they get a trip. And in the 80s and 90s, they went to Europe. They went to Germany and Spain. They went to France, Italy. They went to all those places. And when they went to Germany, they were like, pretty crazy. Every place we went used mini split air conditioning systems. When at that time, they were almost non-existent here. They were so expensive, you couldn't afford them here. It wasn't until the last 10 years here in the U.S. that mini splits really started to become affordable. And that was because Mitsubishi and all those people started making them. But they were in Europe 25 years ago. And they were prevalent. And my dad loved it. He was like, because he's in air conditioning, he notices that shit. And he's like, that would be so nice. So, we just can't get them here. And if we can get them, they're too expensive. Nobody wants to pay that. Yeah, this is the crazy stuff. How do people in that community stand for that? The guy's been making jokes for over 30 years against everything you can imagine. Nothing was off limits. Understood, that this is comedy, this is satire, this is what it's about. And as soon as he touches a subject that is off limits, he done. That is crazy. That is a struggle right there. This guy has a true struggle. He's just trying to tell truth, and they won't let him. The ministry of thought. The ministry of thought is in full swing. in Australia. It's on. I hope this video doesn't get taken down because this is all just my opinion. But you never know with YouTube, right, guys? You just never know. Well, you know, not just loyalty or logic, no humanity, no sense of right or wrong, no sense of justice. You know, it's we win no matter the cost, or you lose. We're not going to go here. If we don't win, nobody wins. And when we win, you still struggle. That's the way it's going to be, folks. That's their game plan. And it's for your own good. Just like in all the literature and movies of the past, they showed us. They showed us this is what it's going to be. And people went, oh, what a great movie. That's crazy, right? It'll never happen to me. What would you do? What would you do if they started, you know, fixing your car so you couldn't drive because you didn't have enough social credit? You couldn't waste fuel. What if you went to the store and when you put your debit card in, they say, you've only got enough credit for half of this, and here's what we say you get credit for, not this. You know? Y'all ready for that? Y'all ready? Y'all are the ones that said okay. There's a lot of people out there that said okay. I'll let it happen. I ain't gonna buck it. I'll stand back here in the corner and complain, but I won't stand up. I won't make a stand. I won't say no. I will comply. I will comply. And it was, what was that, Trevor Noah show last night. I just saw one of his little trailers. And what did he say? 2,500 policemen in Los Angeles have refused to take the jab. And his joke was, wow, if black people thought that's all you had to do to not get shot, who knew? And it's like, that guy can say that kind of stuff and it's applauded. And then somebody comes and says, dude, you can't say that. That's crazy. And they go, yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. You can't. You can't say that. If you'd have said that, even in the same context, you'd be a racist. You'd be a bigot. You're done. Right. The whole idea of journalism is it's just psychotic. I watched, and I encourage it. Go to, Owen Benjamin has a documentary out about his Beartaria, and it's beartaria.com, and you can watch for free. It's like a 2-hour documentary of them up in Idaho, setting up a camp, building structures and setting up a camp for Christians and, you know, truthers. And it's a pretty good documentary. And in it, he gets that kind of stuff. There's a journalist that writes a story about him because one lady in the community went and complained. And he wrote this whole story that was not true at all. There's no truth in it whatsoever. It was just this lady's accusations. And so Owen Benjamin, having a guy who does their filming and documentary stuff, they went to the guy's house, man, and they just go, hey, you know, where'd you get your information from that story? And he's like, from this complaint. And they're like, well, did you investigate any of it? He goes, no. They go, why not? And he goes, well, because, you know, somebody sends you something and you write the story and that starts it, and now they answer it. And it's like, no, that ain't the way it works at all. That ain't the way it works at all. Somebody gives you accusations, you investigate them and go, is this true or is this true? What's true? You go to the sources and you do your journalism, and then you put out a story saying, hey, these people came to us and said this, but after investigation, this is what happened. No, this guy, this journalist, it's not constructed. This journalist had done the same thing to a Christian church there, and they had a business, and they had a armory, like a, you've seen those armories, a Army Navy store type of deal, and they did the same thing to them. Wrote these crazy stories about them, and he didn't investigate it and ask anybody. They just start putting these stories out, and these left-wing freaking nut jobs, they come protest them, and just it's crazy. And this is a small town in Idaho where a few of those nut jobs have decided, well, we love this, this kind of lifestyle, and we're going to go live here. And when we get here, if we see anybody living other than the way we think is right, we're going to destroy you, because that's what we do. That's what we do. When you don't do it our way, we come into your community that you've had for decade after decade, family after family. We come in and look around and go, I don't like that, and I don't like that. You people, I couldn't imagine being that way, man. Isn't it hard, guys? Isn't it hard to imagine? Now, if I come into a neighborhood and there's a crack house across the street, that's a little different. But if I come in and people are building and constructing and coming together in Christian faith and love and building a community, you don't like that, lady? That you don't like. You don't care for that. Okay. But that's the problem. Everybody's, oh yeah, sure, come on into our state. Let those people bring their ideologies with them, and they vote that way and they push that way. I read a deal about 15 years ago. It was at least 15 years ago. A guy saying, look, man, all you communities, watch out for these people migrating in from these left-wing states. They come with business degrees, teaching degrees. They come with experience in human resources. They come and experience with management. They get in these positions, man, and they start turning the screws on people. And you gotta watch out. They get on school boards. They get, whoa, watch out. That's the way they're gonna do it, and that's the way they've done it. That's the way they've done it. They move in, and next thing you know, they're on the city council. They've only lived in the community 5-6 years, and they're out there, telling people, hey, no way we're gonna do this. We need a bicycle trail. We need to go through town and put in a bicycle lane. Right? I mean, what is their problem? I just don't understand it. If you move somewhere, you're supposed to move there because you like the way it is. I don't know that many people move somewhere and go, I'm going there because it needs me to change it. It needs me to come in and point out all the shortcomings and fix this shit. Oh no, guys, I just can't imagine that mindset. What a terrible vibration to live in, right? Where your radar's always up, man, looking for wrong, looking for people not following the rules. Where's your mask? Put your mask on. Do you have a mask? Do you have a mask? I try to do the Jedi mind trick. These are not the drones you're looking for. I always just, no, thank you. And I keep walking. They can chase me if they want. I just keep walking like I own the place. That drove Kathy crazy in the beginning. It didn't matter where we'd go. She'd be like, here, I have a mask. Just put the mask on. Just put it on. I'm like, no, I'm not going to put the mask on. We walk in the store and there's somebody there. Sir, do you have a mask? No, thank you. And we just keep going and do our business. And she's like, why do you do that? And I'm like, because I'm not wearing a mask. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown-ass man. You're not going to tell me to put a mask on. Oh, they are kind of that smarmy, person that nobody really likes, but they always butt into everything, and they always have the biggest ideas, so they think, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. They will do anything for the state to enforce the policy that's what I've told Kathy about her job. As I said, I hope someday you just say no, you won't enforce those policies anymore. That they're, it's not good. I'm not going to enforce those policies. But until that happens, good people like Kathy and good people like a lot of y'all are put in positions where your job is to enforce policy. And if you don't agree with that policy, they'll find somebody that does. And that's the catch. That's the catch. That's where they get us. That's where they get us. They threaten us with our livelihoods, and we cannot do that. We have got to support our families. We've got to. What do you do? What do you do? That's why things like Beartopia groups can get together just like that. You don't have to join up with Owen Benjamin and his people. By God, you can find a group of like-minded people. And I was so impressed with it. Yeah, guys, that these people volunteered to do this, and they put their own money and time into it. And they came out with shovels and picks and dug holes. And then a guy showed up with a little backhoe, and they really went to work. And then a guy showed up with concrete. And then, they had carpenters and concrete people all show up. That's what they do for a living. And they come up and did it. And, I don't see any reason we can't. I mean, geez, I know for sure if we got a group together that build a building, I know that I can install all the air conditioning, ductwork, everything, wire it up, run it. I know I can do that. I can contribute that way. Other people have their skills. It doesn't really take that much. Those guys are proving that. They're proving that. If men stand up and be men and do what they're supposed to do. They even had some soy boys out there. They had some soy boys that, they were, they had the conviction of the Holy Spirit and the message of we've got to separate. And these guys showed up out there, man, and they picked up shovels and they went to work. You could tell that they weren't manual labor people, and they admitted they weren't manual labor people, but they did it. I was impressed. It was pretty cool. If you've got the time, go check it out. Beartopia.com. Watch the documentary. It's pretty good. I watched Owen Benjamin pretty much from the beginning when he got canceled and all that happened. And it was a pretty cool journey. The guy just said in the beginning that, fine, talk to the wife. We're going to separate. We're going to separate. We're going to get out of Los Angeles. We're going to go have a homestead, have kids. And that's what was cool. His wife was into it. She wanted to have 5, 6 kids. He was like, what? And they're on number 3 right now. They're on number 3. That's true. Yeah, we're in a transition. These people, the lines are getting clearer and clearer. Good, evil, right and wrong. It's becoming way more clear. They're taking the mask off. No pun intended, but they have for about the last 10 years. They took the mask off under Big O, and they just started shoving it in their faces. They just start shoving it. And every time somebody protested, they just used the old racist card. They just used the old, phobia card, whatever it may be. And people back down. People back down. Yep. They don't want to be canceled. That's what social media did. So the dynamic of social media set this up so nice for the shaming is that everybody wants their likes. Everybody, they want those likes. They want the thumbs down, man. They want the likes. They want people to share their videos and their memes and stuff. And so they stayed well away from the danger. And that's what social media taught them, was to stay in line, and you'll be in the crowd, and you'll be popular. You'll be popular. You'll trend. You may even become an influencer. I remember when I heard that word, I heard that word about 5 years ago, and I remember telling Kathy, oh my God, have you heard this new thing? And she's like, what? And I'm like, influencers. There are people out there that are paid to do their little channel, whether it may be makeup or clothes or whatever. They're an influencer. And I mean, is that not just coming right out and saying, we're manipulating you? We are manipulating you. This person is not real. They're just doing this for clicks, and we pay them to get our product out there. You are a product. They are a product. They're not real. When the camera goes off, they wipe off all the makeup. They get into their regular clothes. You know what I'm saying? But it's just sad. When I first heard that, I remember it sparked my, whoa, what's an influencer? Now, you can turn on the news. Every single news program just about will have a segment where, and now we're talking with influencer so-and-so. You know, oh my God. Oh, sure, they manipulate language like nobody's business. They can spin the word. They certainly know how to do that. All right, guys, we're almost on an hour. Nashville, stop. Stop. I just set my glass down. Stop. So I'm going to cash it in. Everybody, good vibrations, discernment. You know, love your neighbor, love yourself. We can all do this. God bless you all. Love you all.